Operator, how may I direct your call?
Accounts payable.
The John Wick world, it's a hidden world.
It's fantasy, but it's also reality.
Accounts payable, how may I help you?
I'd like to open an account.
There's all these rules that the assassins have.
The rules that you have to obey, the rules that you have to live by.
Name on the account?
John Wick.
No one comes back without repercussions.
The challenge came to us, how do we create a sequel that stems from the world expansion?
Having this character take a journey and opening up the story.
Showing the rules and the mythology of John Wick.
Baba Yaga.
In the first film, we dealt mostly with the Continental Hotel in New York City. In this movie, we wanted to show that there's a Continental Hotel that exists in every city around the world, every major city around the world. The city that best kind of exuded the style and panache that we wanted to have in our film, especially with the suits and the look and the style, was Rome.
Rome has been around for 1,000 years. It goes really deep and really old school.
It has such an elegance and a sophistication, and for us to be able to take it internationally, Rome is the perfect place.
The big difference is the context, the situation, the places.
This is the original map of the D'Antonio estate. Here you have all the ancient ruins.
We're gonna shoot in the catacombs, and we have this beautiful scene in Terme di Caracalla, you know, this theater.
Chad was really excited about Italy and Rome being a kind of seat of historical agencies. We bring in the idea of the high table, that even beyond the layer of the continental, there's the high table. You just get different kinds of tribes. How deep does that go? You know, in the first picture, there was the gold coin, which was a kind of entryway into the world of the continental, the underworld.
Charger.
What we're talking about in the story is the rules of the underworld.
I don't want to be here.
Please, don't.
You have to always honor what we call a marker, which is a debt that any high-level person in our world can trade for a service. And that's where we find John in this one.
For a man to grant a marker to another is to bind a soul to a blood oath.
John's world is a world of rules, and you can't break them. And John learns that the hard way.
I am so sorry. Your life is now forfeit.
Our world expansion isn't just for Rome. We want to expand John's home of New York.
We wanted to really build up the underground of New York. Where do our hitmen go when they have nowhere else to turn?
We're establishing an underground of killers who don't go by the rules, who don't wear suits, that live in the shadows and live among us, and we don't even realize that.
You know, they put it in everything. Hey, man, you got a quarter?
I'm working on it.
We wanted somebody that was the head of all this information gathering within New York City.
Everything about the Bowery King is kind of cool because, you know, he's not what he appears to be at first. And his relationship to Wick is a long one. They have a history.
Oh, and remember, you owe me. You don't want me owing you.
He wanted to put into the everyday world that this underworld is living amongst you. It's almost like everybody's an assassin.
Anybody you see out there can be assassin. They're not always in shiny black suits or the things you see every day, whether it's a garbage man, a street performer, a shopkeeper, a police officer. Any of these people could be assassins.
You never know someone's history, you never know what they've been through, and you never know what they're capable of.
All around you, there is an alternative universe of assassins and killers who are part of this world. They're in the fabric of our society. We just don't know where they are.
The guy serving you coffee and giving you your bagel at the bodega might in fact be a highly trained assassin.
I mean, that's what's great about the world of John Wick is that it is a heightened reality. They sort of take ordinary things, places, put a little magic dust on it, and suddenly it's this other world.
The Utebia Maya Machina.
At the end of the first movie, we see John leave. He's gotten a little bit of his vengeance back. He walks away with his new dog, but he still doesn't have his car.
Everyone was like, where does this story start? And basically it was, well, let's get his car back.
We brought back John's Mustang. We've kind of held to the Wickian motif of using the car as a weapon.
We had 5 or 6 Mustangs. Some had different roles. We had some that were hero cars that were, better for the interior, some that were better for the exterior, some that were better drivers. One of the Mustangs was a pod car. Robert Nagel drove it. It's a car that's got a driving pod on top of it, and he drives it. It allows Keanu to focus on acting.
We added some motorcycles into it, which I think will be fun.
Getting hit by that just never sounds fun.
We hit some people with cars, and then we hit a lot of dummies with cars. So you see it happen really, and then subliminally we're feathering in these giant hits that no one could actually survive.
That car is going to drive this way and pull the motorcycle there, and there's going to be a collision right there.
There's no real safe spot in this area, so if you don't need to be here, don't be here.
We closed down Times Square at night, the heart of New York City. I've never done that before. Our first car action sequence is like 2 or 3 minutes straight without any breathing.
We T-bone a motorcycle in the heart of Times Square, which is just really, really amazing, and most movies don't get to do.
The stunt guys really were incredible. I was nervous how many cars we needed, but they nailed it on the first take.
Wick just is becoming a better and better driver on each movie.
That was good, man. The car stuff came back pretty quick. The more I can do and the more confidence that Chad and the stunt team have in me, then they go, okay, now let's give him some more responsibility.
Look at that. Oh, fuck yeah. That's what I want to get coming out of the warehouse.
That's what, for me, is really thrilling, and I think it's also such a great part of John Wick. Being able to stay with the character, while all of these things are happening, I think adds to the fun.
Choreography's been amazing on this one. Chad just keeps upping the ante. He's certainly doing it justice, for sure.
Kung Fu or Gung Fu or Car Fu, they all help define the world.
We had to bring back Jeremy Fry for John Wick 2. He did such a great job driving in the first one, and in my opinion is the best stunt driver in the business.
A lot of times you have an idea of what you want, but whether you can do it or not kind of depends on what you're looking at. So Darren came up with the sequence of what the car is going to do. And there's a ramp that they built so you can drive from inside to outside. And he said, let's come out of it sideways. Even at 5 miles an hour, man, that little ramp, it was a bit of a cuckoo, because we want to hit this thing fast, and I just didn't know if the car would handle it. So I looked around, I find this stack of these 1/4-inch steel plates. They put the stuff down, and it was beautiful. It had this slope, like a skateboard launch ramp. So we do it, and okay, try this, and try this, and try this. At the end, they're way behind schedule. So on the 5th one, I finish, and I'm listening, and I don't hear anything.
Hey, somebody get Jay Fry out of the truffles, have him come look at this.
As I walk over, and everyone's gathered around the playback monitors, and oh my gosh, it looks so good. Everything, for some reason, it had just come together, and it just looked super cool. It was just it's the kind of thing we hadn't seen on film before. We wanted to kind of make something cool.
Chad's a nice guy. When he goes to get his car, he's not interested in just killing everybody. He just wants to get his car.
He's pretty much all-around killing machine. Whatever he has his hands on, he's going to kill you with.
The guy can fight, the guy can shoot, the guy can use a knife, and the guy can use a car.
People always say, so is John Wick going to be bigger and better and huger? And I'm like, that was a black belt. This is like 3rd degree black belt.
I think it's in our nature to try and outdo ourselves each time. I think the cool thing about John Wick is we've set up this Wickian world.
We want to expand the action, we want to expand the characters, we want to expand the world.
We're trying to create new things. We're trying to make it more exciting, more action.
8711 was the first to really kind of take this model of stunts and say, okay, we're going to train our own people, we're going to train other people, we're going to create this culture of performing, directing.
And so they brought both an action design and an action aesthetic of how to shoot it, which I think people really appreciated.
The 8711 team come on movies to help facilitate their vision of the action.
They take what I'm trying to get out of a scene, conceive something even more elaborate than what I was hoping for, and then execute it.
And working with someone like Chad, he's very specific.
I try to spend as much time as I can with the choreography team, giving my input about what I want out of the character, and then we all sit down and come up with a curriculum of moves and motion that we want the character to have, and then the choreography team just tries and tries and tries as many different combinations of the different variables we have, and we pick and choose what fits best in what scene.
We will always choreograph what we call master takes, doing it from beginning to end all in one take. We're memorizing it while we choreograph, because we'll do the first section. We choreograph the first section. Okay, now let's go to the second section. We always just end up running it front to back.
So I'm getting everything ready ahead of time through the previs process.
Previs helps us sight in where we're going with our choreography.
We didn't know exactly what the camera's going to do, so by the time it's time to do it, we have to make a few minor adjustments.
It allows Chad to see it.
We give him options and give him ideas. He always knows how to capture it perfectly.
We had J.J. Perry that ran the overall stunt team and the fight choreography team.
He's kind of the quarterback in the whole team that we have for the action.
And JJ's attitude is so fun that it's hard not to follow him into battle.
Here we go. Good energy, guys. Get it.
I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have that instruction and support.
What 8711 loves to do is keep the camera on the actor, which is a challenge for an actor because they need to put up a lot of training. But you know it's that person, and you feel the emotion.
They have a lot of experience with training actors, and I'm really benefiting from that experience.
Keanu's so conditioned now. We've done our magic and like conditioned him. He can go and he'll rehearse it like 3 or 4 times, top to bottom, and then he's like, all right, let's shoot.
He embodies everything about John Wick, and he's really an actor that gives him his all. So we love to surround him with actors who we can also push that far, and so that they can bring their A game.
You have to make the character or the individual playing the character better to do the better choreography. You can't do one without the other.
The training I've done has prepared me to be able to be spontaneous when we need to be, or take Chad's direction and make it authentic.
First time I talked to Common, he's like, I don't care what it takes. I want to do this. I don't think Common missed a single workout.
It's great when we have an actor who can also do his own stunts because the scenes just feel more authentic.
I am super psyched about the first Cassian and John Wick fight. We've had Keanu and Common rehearsing, then they get into a shootout fight.
You're not having a good night, are you, John?
And then we're doing gun fu,
jiu-jitsu, judo. Yes, yeah, all of them mixed together.
Eric Brown, our judo extraordinaire, put together a really fascinating, pretty much grappling sequence between the two of them on the ground. It's very smart, it's very true to the arts, and they both pull it off.
You're just in it, man, and I really enjoy that.
It's been cool to be able to have time to train with Common and with Ruby. Ruby's been training. She's kind of like specializes in, knife fighting, close contact.
Keanu and I have a great scene. We're in a mirror room.
After a couple months of designing, Kevin and his fantastic team came up with a very elaborate mirror room that doubled part as art exhibit, part as maze.
I designed the room to be an architectural version of mirrors and reflections and getting lost within the reflection and trying to find what's real and what's not real.
We took that in a kind of ode to Enter the Dragon, and then we did our final little gunfight within that, which was very challenging.
Welcome to Reflections of the Soul at the new modern NYC.
After the choreography was done, we did a bunch of rehearsals and worked together and brought it to the mirror room, and from the beginning, you know, it was a challenge.
In that sense, we know that we have to train our actors really hard and make sure that they're well prepared.
And then you punch him, more straight punch. And that's where he's gonna grab you and break your elbow.
Come in here and they've trained hard and they've, you know, learned to perform these fights in rehearsals, but when they get here, they're all turning it on, and it's gonna make the scene just amazing.
It really was like we were fighting, because half the time we were like, are we going with the uppercut or are we going with the, oh, well, I don't know, let's just do this. In fact, in one of them, he flips me over and his elbow knocked me in the cheek, and we watched it back, and there's this little moment where it was real.
There's a kind of reality to it. That level of everyone who's involved is kind of on a higher level.
Sure.
We've tried to place action in places that audiences haven't seen before.
We didn't know we were going to do catacombs. I do a lot of the action design based on locations. So we went over to Rome, we scouted, and then we couldn't believe it. Like, they were going to allow us to shoot in 2,000-year-old catacombs.
Obviously, we have a big fight scene in the Baths of Caracalla, in the catacombs under the Baths of Caracalla.
And we had a shootout through the rock opera into the catacombs down underneath the tunnels.
Okay, we went down there, no one wanted to touch anything. And the location manager, they overheard me talking about, well, the stunt guy. He said, oh, yeah, you can hit this wall, no problem. And I was like, well, the stunt guys are going to bounce off the walls. He's like, oh, yeah, I've been here 2,000 years, you know, heard it.
You can't find those places just anywhere else.
It was kind of really a blessing, because we knew we wanted to shoot the outside. And then when we discovered that there was tunnels down there, it was kind of opened up a whole nother kind of chapter in that scene.
It's impossible not to be lost in these scenes as an actor when you're surrounded by all that greatness.
We have a really big Russian sequence in the Taxi Motor House.
У тебя моя машина.
Baba Yaga.
The Russian fight was a fun one. Some really good performers in that.
That's right. Russian fight. Look at him.
So he comes in here to look for his car, finds his car, gets in it, gets caught, and then he's pretty much stuck there. There's nowhere to go. People just start surrounding him, and this fight happens.
So we do the dance.
Chad, as a director, he pretty much already knows what he wants to do. He already have everything planned out in his head, so there's no time wasted.
Coordinate all these fight scenes, coordinate all this stunt. You have to be very professional, because you have to make decision like that. It's like 10, 15 seconds. They're very professional, they've been around, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Mir. Mir.
We are always chasing the clock. As a fight guy, you want all the time you can get to shoot the action and make it as perfect as possible.
Sometimes they get a little frustrated because I make them rehearse like crazy. But the most important thing I'm doing is the mission, and that would be Chad and his film. Second most important thing are my men. I will do anything I can to help my guys be ready for what they have to do. The final product is always going to be much better that way.
We're not pleased until JJ and Chad are pleased. Our job is to fulfill their vision. Seeing them happy is the world to us.
It's a good lad. Good lad.
Hopefully, we get to take you through a little bit of a world that you haven't seen before.
So I guess you have a choice. You want a war? Or do you want to just give me a gun?
Tell Dwayne a little to his left. Just roll around a little bit.
Touch to your left, Dwayne.
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Go. Close door one. So find that infinity. Find the infinity.
Chad and Keanu, they have a special bond. They've been together for longer than I've actually been in the business. They have a fun relationship, you know, they get to joke around. They're training with each other and one's teaching the other and so on and so forth. But now you have your stunt double kind of like, you know, directing you, which is not, I don't know if I've ever heard about that ever.
Yeah, you open this one.
Yeah.
That'll be our end.
You see that kind of trust and that sort of brotherhood that they have and have had for so long. And they're so much alike in so many ways. It's fun. It's fun for me to watch them.
But do the roll, draw, look, and go.
Okay. Chad's creating something that the world hasn't quite seen yet.
Keanu does some of the most amazing stunts for an actor. Like, they are a great tandem with great vision. They discuss everything every day.
To watch them work together, you know, Chad and Keanu is it's not even work anymore. We all know each other so well, so it's a lot of fun.
I was working on a show. I was working on NYPD Blues, and I got a call saying, "Hey, you might make a good double for Keanu Reeves. You should go to this audition for this sci-fi movie." I got hit by a car like at 6 in the morning, and then tried to make it to the auditions by 11.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and I showed up in jeans and a T-shirt, and that's where I walked into this big warehouse in Burbank. And I think you were doing the dojo fight rehearsing. I'm 90% sure it's the dojo fight. With Chu. Chu, one of the Chinese choreographers. Keanu just going off on this huge kung fu piece of choreography. I'm like, oh, I guess I've come to the right place. It was like we were kind of like creeping out, just peeking at you from.
What's that guy doing?
Yeah, like, oh, hey, that's the guy from Bill and Ted's.
Right.
And then I met Yung Woo Ping and his guys. I met Keanu really briefly, and then I met the Wachowskis. And then I got put through, I did 45-minute hour auditions on the first Matrix. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'd only done 2 action films before The Matrix, so I was used to doing training, you know, some fight training and some weapons training. But certainly the idea of like, here's, you know, 3 months and learn movie kung fu and throws and choreography and wire work. You know,
hard to fake the splits.
Yeah, you can't, you know, those side kicks and...
The American, all the wire work I'd done like the flips in the wire and some of the routes, but the actual kung fu wire work was so rare in mainstream stunt work in America that we're on the same learning curve on that. So he'd give me pointers and stuff like that too, because he'd been doing it much longer at that point. I just remember I just walked in, I was sitting in the lobby of my hotel in Sydney, and he just came shuffling in, and he just kind of looked at me like, hey. I'm like, hey, you just put down this bottle of wine on the counter. They're like, good job. And he walked away. I'm like, oh, I had a bottle of wine. It was great. So I still have it.
Oh, right. Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of how, we got initiated. A bottle of Penfolds and a week of Kung Fu in the dojo sequence.
Yeah.
Boom, he goes down. It's like, oh shit, this guy peels. After the first Matrix, they allowed me to be one of the stunt coordinators, and actually gave me a camera a couple times, so they started the filmmaking process, which led into a fantastic second unit action directing career.
When you started, you know, 8711 action design, was that born right out of Revolutions?
It was right after Revolutions, yeah. It was like within the year after Revolutions.
Chad and Dave and 8711 were definitely an advancement and an evolution of storytelling and where action is in storytelling. Kind of coming in with the wire technologies and different cameras. That idea of action and story was really a strong part of what 8711 helped sort of make modern, and you've seen that the studios and producers have like said, yeah, we need those guys. Chad was so literate in terms of action and cinema, storytelling. There's a vast knowledge there. That's part of why when John Wick came to me, I thought that Wick could be something that would be attractive to him. I think we both share a kind of like roll up your sleeves and go to work.
Best way to do it.
You know, and it's not like,
happen.
yeah.
It'll happen on set, let's go.
You know, if we're speaking creatively, like even early days on Wick, you know, the times that we spent in the office in New York, really just kind of going through story and dialogue casting and everything, and kind of you sharing your vision.
A lot of Japanese scotch.
Through John Wick Chapter 2, we worked even more, had more involvement creatively in terms of story and text and dialogue and stuff.
Look, everything. Look, feel, vibe, yep, even the set pieces.
Chad, you see Toby, right? I see it, yeah. So when I get up, I can throw him a look over. Absolutely.
You know, our taste is pretty aligned, so there's never been any question. It's just like, so what are we gonna do?
I really like just a simple scene like Gianna. Keanu came up with the original idea. That we were just sitting in 8711 one day, and he kind of just, I got a pitch for you. He came walking in with excitement. We're like, oh, what about this? And he explained the scene. It's in a bathtub. I'm gonna get her, but she's gonna cut her own wrist. I was just like, oh my God, that's genius. And we'll do it like this. And just from that one little speech, how it came out in the movie. So that's my favorite one, like to collaborate and really pull off and see how it came out.
Justin! Yeah, I got it for you. Go! Action!
John Wick Chapter 2 is Chad's first film, right? Second film, but I mean, it's the first film that he directed. And so it's the first of that version of him as a director. You can see, like, you know, he's amazing at what he does.
Just right when he says go, just kind of give me that. Tim!
From the artists and the crews and everyone, you know, follows that captain, that visionary. Chad has a definite, you know, practical understanding and creative vision, a really great sense for story and pacing and knowing the audience, and it's cool to be working with someone like that.
You know, very rarely do you find someone with capabilities exceeding limitations. The actor or the cast member becomes the key pin or the keystone to it. Your film methodology is based on that keystone. So if that keystone is only a 5, that's as much as you're gonna get. If your keystone can remember 50 moves in a row, do long takes, remember all his lines and act while he's doing the action sequence. John Wick wouldn't have worked with anybody but. How many directors really have freedom, true creative choice in an action sequence? They're not trying to hide anything. They're not trying to cut around things. They're not trying to hide wire stunt doubles.
Good, cut!
If I have all that, basically my own virtual camera setup, if I have an actor or my keystone that can do everything, and I choose when to cut, so now when I go back and I choose between 4 edits, all 4 edits are great. It's my choice. It's a real choice.
Cut! Beautiful. Nice.
We knew in the catacombs where we're cutting. It was just the logistics, the physics of the set pieces. I'm not, okay, we'll take it up to here, and then because he drops the gun and he trips over his shoelaces, I have to cut here.
Yes, I do that sometimes. I would say that there's 2 things going on, the creativity and the problem solving. I think that's what we all inherit from the vision.
And open up to me, so you want to see that boom. Yeah.
It's like, how do we do it? And then what could be cool within that?
We did steal the expression from the Wachowskis, is the best way to fake being good is to just be good.
Working with Chad is fantastic. My side of it's really cool to watch him do his thing, get a chance to do his vision.
That's a wrap on John Wick 2.
And to see people respond to his vision.
He just goes full throttle the whole way. Whatever it is, he embraces it full-heartedly. He comes in with an empty cup and just soaks it all in.
Chad and Keanu, they've been together since the Matrix movies. They've known each other so well, and they've been the same character so many times.
What was that movie? Thumbsucker.
Thumbsucker?
I did a cool bicycle stunt. I fell off a bicycle from the Thumbsucker. That was up in Oregon somewhere. I like those little things like that.
So for them to be the same character so many times, they're really building this vision together.
Well done. Well done.
We don't want to work with anybody else.
Do you fear damnation, John?
Yes.
the bells when the Lord gone. And the boys that need hell when the war's on. Bigger fingers in the air, put a little work on them. Work on them, put a little work on them. Put a little perk on them.
Loose ends.
Here to see Santino D'Antonio.
He's waiting for you in the lounge, sir.
Jonathan, just walk away.
Yeah, Jonathan. Walk away.
What have you done? Finished it.
When you make a film, you never know how it's going to go.
I just kept hearing about it and hearing about it.
Now it's become sort of this cult classic film.
I've had some people, say hello to me on the street. How's it going, Mr. Wick?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
John Wick 1 had a very tortured life. We didn't know if the audience would embrace the aesthetic of the movie.
Baba Yaga.
And it was kind of miraculous that we were able to pull it off.
We were really fortunate that people liked what we did.
It had its own vibe to it.
The action was really cool. The comedy was spot on.
Noise complaint?
Noise complaint.
It's just a really cool, fun movie.
It was a great script. The directors did a really amazing job in bringing the tone and bringing the worlds to life.
Room 880.
We wanted to do something different, and we wanted to make bold choices and be provocative. I guess we just never thought it would resonate past the genre movie.
I think the whole world just sort of embraced Keanu being back.
You look good.
And hearing about it and people saying, you have to watch it, you have to see Keanu in this film.
Cast the man, cast the man, cast the man. And I think Keanu Reeves, he's very much like John Wick. He's very dedicated. He's a man of precision and stick-to-itiveness. And Keanu's got his own code as well.
He's sort of the good guy of the bad guys. And the way Keanu does them is unbelievable.
It's a very simple, understated performance.
In a million years, we never would have thought we would be making John Wick 2.
After the first John Wick came out and it had its success, seems like the best thing to do.
When I got the opportunity to read the script and talk with Chad, I knew I need to be in John Wick 2. You working?
Yeah. You?
Yeah.
We called this movie John Wick Chapter 2. It's not 2 years later, it's the same week. It is Chapter 2. And so we kind of sustain a lot of the same emotionality that we did in the first movie.
How good to see you again so soon, Mr. Wick.
It's been fun to come up with the story for the film, to figure out what could that be. Exploring the mythology, we're kind of continuing it. We're going deeper into it.
How do you give them a mixture of the world that they know and they like, and give them a little bit more about that world that they already know, and then add to the top of that an expanded world with more characters?
What could it be for this character? Like, what would bring him back? Well, you can't kill another dog. We don't want to do that.
How do you give them an emotional way into this movie without repeating ourselves?
What brought you back, John?
A marker.
What we're talking about in this story is the rules of the underworld, the rules that you have to obey, the rules that you have to live by.
You came to me. I helped you. If you don't do this, you know the consequences.
The past of John Wick comes knocking on his door, and the consequences of John's choices keep ripping away the world. One of the things that tickled me was the idea that we take everything away. We want John Wick to suffer. I love it when he suffers. The end of this story, John has nothing, and he's hunted. He's hunted by every level of the John Wick world.
John needs to do one last job, and in turn sets the world upon him. But it's only the second chapter. And like any good book, it's got a third.
I'll kill them. I'll kill them all. The tone of the action is such a great part of John Wick. No longer takes complexity, footwork.
We wanted a project that let us do something a little bit more from the human side of things. Instead of just training an actor to do choreography, we just made Keanu pretty much one of the choreographers, one of our stuntmen. We pushed him harder than I think we've ever pushed anybody. You'll see him take his own falls, his own rolls. You'll see him do his own reload. You'll see him unjam and jam a weapon. You'll see him do all his own disarms. You'll see him drive his car. You'll see him hit things with a car when it's really Keanu Reeves. So we kind of threw away the actor thing and just trained him as a stunt guy.
That was always the mantra. He's going to roll the camera, and it's going to roll for 30 seconds and see how many people you can hose down with a pistol in 30 seconds.
That's demanding. It's really demanding as movie fighting goes.
We talked a lot about how could we make this one bigger and meaner, and we settled on the idea that we need to make Keanu better, hence the long training period for Keanu Reeves.
So as I put the suit back on, I went back into training. The stunt team has a lot of experience training actors.
Whatever it is, he embraces it full-heartedly. He just goes full throttle the whole way.
I would find it difficult to get a 50-year-old man in that kind of combat-ready state, except Keanu. I think Keanu wants to live that life of, this is who I am. And I think he brings that every time we rehearse and every time we train.
Yeah, I mean, I'm older, so it's harder. Show off. And you have more technique, so that helps keep balancing it out. The age is winning, of course, but techniques are helping me get by. The more I can do and the more confidence that Chad and the stunt team have in me, then they go, okay, now let's give him some more responsibility. Oh, you can do that? Oh, cool. Okay, well, what about that? Ah, shoot, I can't quite do that. Train him.
Keanu trains on the weekends. He trained for 4 or 5 months before the movie started shooting. And I don't mean like once a week, like every day, 4 or 5 hours a day.
The great thing about Keanu is he's super committed. When there's training to be done, he's gonna do it. And he shows up early to train and works as hard as possible.
As you get deeper and deeper into training, you get less and less normal life, which I enjoy the focus of it. My friends are like, where did you go? And I'm like, I'm in the training paradigm.
I really enjoy the physical side of it. I'm a Virgo. I like tasks. I like the puzzle. I like trying to get good at something. So it's fun to do the physical stuff, figure it out and try and be great at it.
I started training 2 years after the release of the first one, so the weapon stuff came back pretty quick. That muscle memory, the judo not so much.
I've gone out to some of the best instructors to enrich Keanu Reeves, to get him better at what it is we're going to do in the movie. We just went to town training him on 14 or 15 great judo moves, aki-jitsu moves, and then really upped his jiu-jitsu game, like spent a lot of time grappling. So we brought the masters in, the Machado brothers, just so we can get the best knowledge. They'd come in and see his jiu-jitsu training.
A great honor to have the Machado brothers come to 8711.
I love John Wick. I think it was one of the best fight scenes ever seen. I believe for me it was the first movie which you see the mix of good martial arts so well put together.
What we did with Keanu, I start to see his knowledge.
He's already very sharp in techniques.
And we start try to improve that transitions. And like somebody come on top of him, he escape quick and go, grab the neck, boom, break. In every position, he know how to escape, how to set up, how to counter-attack, and how to do the submission.
He have that focus, that determination, everything perfect. Is very impressive.
It was basically just like an hour with them, and they each taught me one technique. Everything was breath and flow. When are you slow? When are you fast? Is your breath while that's happening?
That's why I'm here today, bring you what we know best.
That's always with me. Like, you know, that's part of how we talk now. Let's get the flow.
We wanted the audience watching our lead cast, who actually went through the training and got to do the action itself.
The stunt team is built on mastery. They want A+ level work. And that's what I strive for. I strive for excellence.
It's really kind of neat to be meeting these wonderful performers and artists who are like, yeah, we want to play.
Casting was another one of those great parts that had a couple great character moments and had a lot of action. So we didn't want to go out and cast just a stuntman or a cast member that's really defined action. We'd rather find someone very interesting who had a great character attribute to him and then train them as we did with Keanu.
I knew that these are stunt guys are the best in the industry, and they're just really great at what they do. So the opportunity to work with Keanu Reeves, and once they put Rome on the map too, it was like, I need to be in John Wick too.
Common's like, let's train, man. We got to do John Wick style. And I'm like, yeah, man, right on. So he's been training and training and training guns and jiu-jitsu and going through the Wick program.
I've been learning a whole lot, and I have to say, it's like learning a new language. And I love getting to do the work, and it's hard work. You know, some days you go home and your neck is messed up for a week, but, you know, it's no time to cry or whine when you're working with 8711. I can remember being like, hey, you know, I messed up my neck. It's a strain or something going on, and, you know, I can barely turn it. It's like, okay, cool, just stretch it out. And then we got back into putting me in the headlocks and stuff. I was like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing.
Ruby's going through the Wick program. Welcome to Wick.
I said to Chad, how much of this am I going to do and how much is going to be a stunt double? And he's like, you can do as much or as little as you want. I think he knew then already that I was signing up to do as much as humanly possible.
We really took a look at what her background was.
So we worked with my strengths, which are boxing and martial arts.
And so we really used her skill set, and that way it was a little easier when you're training somebody to not have to start from the beginning.
He was like, what's the point of teaching you something you've never done before when we can teach you with your boxing how to just take that to another level. Heidi knew all of the choreography, and then we'd work together and she would teach me the safety kind of elements of it. Our fight scenes is so intense, and there were so many different moves, and we choreographed it 3 different styles, and we're in a mirror room, and of course Chad wanted to keep revising it. So it was almost like an improv. Like, it really was like we were fighting, because half the time we were like, are we going with the uppercut or are we going with the, oh well, I don't know, let's just do this.
With the training, you learn about the cooperation, how to fake fight, and how to do long takes. And like, there's a kind of reality to it, but it's also a dance.
It's sort of a pleasure when you get to work with one of the guys you're used to working with. It's sort of like a dance when you do a fight. And if someone's a tiny bit off, the other person makes up for it a little bit and you work together. Some of the guys, you know, Jackson, Danny, all these guys, I mean, I know if I ever fight them, we're always going to be on because we'll make up for each other's mistakes. And I realized that Keanu has picked that up. I could tell that he was dancing with me from the beginning. I was so impressed.
Cars, guns, knives, just basic stuff. You gotta know how to make an omelet, right?
When you open up the Reeves chest, it's like, okay, we got that with the guns, we got this with the throws, we have this on the floors. These are the choke techniques. These are the knife techniques. So the more that he has to play with, he can work that into the choreography.
Everything's a weapon to him, whether it's hands-on or firearms or his car. Whatever he has, he's going to use as a weapon.
You have the first film, he would use one kind of weapon all the time, so it was very linear. Now we have up to 3 different weapons that he's using at one time, which adds a completely different aspect.
I've done a lot more training on this film than the first one in terms of guns.
We took Keanu through a lot of 3-gun training.
Speed draws, transitions, fast trigger pulls.
Keeping that kind of gunplay and fighting interesting, like gunjitsu, up to snuff is our biggest mission. So we brought the masters in just so we can get the best knowledge. We wanted him to be faster and be able to up his target acquisition, make him faster pulling up on targets, faster out of the holster, get him faster on the reloads, be able to correct malfunctions.
Dead. I'm dead.
I brought in Taron Butler, who's the national international 3-gun champion. It's about speed, precision, and timing. Moving targets, stationary targets, and the ability to transition between a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun and back and forth.
I brought Keanu here, Taron Butler's shooting ranch up in Simi Valley, for a reason, because Taron is the fastest guy out there.
He's the best A-list celebrity that I've ever had out here. His intensity, his desire to get good is really what pushes me as a trainer to just get even better with him. You know, I've had guys out and they're great, who want to do the basics and kind of go, and they're good to go, and they'll look good enough for the camera and all that stuff, but he wants to take it to the next level.
For me, I enjoy the mechanics of it and figuring stuff out and then trying to apply it.
He's never satisfied. He wants it to be the best it could possibly be. But on the other hand, you look back at the videos, like, God dang, that's an amazing run.
You start getting into how fast was your draw, how fast was your first pull, what was the time between your trigger pulls, how fast your reload, how fast can you run this course.
It's all about speed shooting while you're moving. And every time we're at Taron's, we can change the course. It's almost like choreography. He shoots one course, pistol, rifle, shotgun, and then the next time we change it.
In each session, he was firing anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 rounds. But it just builds in so much precision and so much muscle memory. We thought it was a good idea.
There is something to the mindset, and it does it to your body. You know, you have to be in it. You have to attack. If that gets ingrained in my body, then it's going to be second nature for me just to go into that position.
Our stuff came back pretty quick, through some 90s and 180s.
We were knocking the dust off with Mr. Reeves, getting him back in the saddle, and sliding the Mustangs around a bit. We just wanted to take him back to the basics. We just did some 90s into a mark and 180s to a mark. We started drifting a little bit, just kind of see where he's at, see how much he remembered.
The 90s were right there. 45s were right there. The drifting was pretty right there. So reverse 180 was a little new, so that was fun.
We trained Keanu specifically to the moves that we choreograph in the chase. So we're not so much building car chases in this film as much as we are car fu, where he takes the car and smashes into people, he uses the car to hit people, he'll use the car to knock people over. This one's a lot more brutal.
All of this training helps when someone says, action! Fucking go, and you're like, on it!
Working? Afraid so.
John Wick is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will. He once killed 3 men in a bar with
a pencil. I know, I've heard the story, sir.
With a fucking pencil? Who the fuck can do that?
John is an assassin, and anything he finds, he can use as a tool.
We're getting him better tools in this movie, better weapons. We're upgrading him in everything.
That's it. You have the different characters, and with each character you can bring a different style, and with each different style comes different weapons that those people use.
We didn't invent guns, and we didn't invent martial arts, and we certainly didn't invent it in cinema. I think what we did was we took a more modern take on it. Great fight action mixed with tactical gunplay isn't usually in the same movie.
We really wanted to be super tactical. How would one man take out an army? We really had to use a little more of the armory to see what different weapons we could get our hands on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wick. It's been a long time. I'd like a tasting.
For the handgun, this is the Glock 34 TTI Combat Master. It holds 24 rounds of 9mm. We've done a trigger job, so you can shoot a lot faster. A textured grip job, it feels good in your hand, it doesn't slip around, and also the gun cycles faster.
Flared magwell for easier reloads.
And flared magwell, so you want to do super fast reloads. It's just flared, you can't miss it.
What's next?
Something robust, precise.
Robust, precise.
This is the TR1 Ultralight. This is a 223 or 5.56. Very powerful. It's got a Trijicon scope on top. This is for close and long range. So you can hit stuff out to like 700 yards with it. And this one here is a little side scope to get all this really close stuff really fast. Makes everything so easy to hit.
Could you recommend anything for the end of the night? Something big, bold.
The next big gun would be the Benelli shotgun. Lighten the bolt carrier, we ion bond it with a hard coating, open the loading area so you can load it super fast, do a trigger job, it's got a light trigger like on the rifle and the handgun.
Custom bolt carrier release and charging handle. Textured grips, should your hands get wet.
A lot of details, oversized safety, oversized bolt release, charging handle, just all the details to make the gun really easy to shoot, easy to load.
An Italian classic.
All of these weapons have been, gone through the springs, the triggers, the slides. It's like butter. Dessert.
Dessert. The finest cutlery.
John has a micro tech that he uses in the subway platform against Cassie. It's one of the first times I've ever seen one of those really cool knives. JJ actually brought it out, and he gave us that great idea and planted the seed.
The biggest weapon he has of all is just his bare hands.
We were thinking about how do we want Keanu to fight. We were thinking worst case scenario. Hit him in the neck, poke him in the eye, kick him in the nuts, throw him, break his arm, break his leg, choke him out. Elbow, 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 knee, knee, knee. Worst case scenario. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu played a major factor in that. Chad got his Jiu-Jitsu from the Machado brothers. So we brought the masters in just so we can get the best knowledge.
Through the Gracie family and the Machado family, they took Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and they just developed and developed and developed and developed and developed it, so it became a very efficient form of ground fighting.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
It's a chess game. The checkmate is to get in a choke or to get to armbar. Concentrate 100% in ground fight.
We take a lot of the principles and we try to spice them up a little bit. Here's what would it be like with a firearm? What would it be like with an edge weapon? And we kind of movie-ize it a little bit to make it feel a little bit more fun.
Somebody come on top of him, he escape quick and go, poof, break. Now the other guy come, he come back up, take the other guy down, break. Not waste 1 second.
All takes place on the ground. It's very tactical, very smart. It's very true to the arts. It's a lot of wrist locks. It's a lot of chokes. You'll just be picturing like the octagon.
One event here, another event there, or he's just shooting them in that face.
There's definitely more variations of ending a person's life in this movie. You always have car. You always gotta have the car in there. The car foo.
Come on, dude. He's doing the crane technique, man. Karate Kid style.
Rather than chase with cars, John Wick takes his car and hits things with it. John uses the car as a weapon. We like suits in John Wick. We like formality and what a suit means. It says respect, it says acquiescence, or it says strength. John Wick needs a new suit. He's on a new mission, he needs a new suit. So one of the first things he does when he goes to Rome is goes to see his old tailor.
Buongiorno, signor Wick. Magari ha bisogno di un abito nuovo.
I am.
And the suit had to be bulletproof and had to be tactical.
It is made of a bunch of different materials. You line up your suit and you can take a bullet. Silicon carbide discs, ceramic matrices, cutting-edge body armor, zero penetration.
Once a suit goes on, he's a single-minded, single-purpose individual. John uses weapons of opportunity. The character John Wick was known for the ability to incapacitate 3 men in an establishment with a pencil.
We have to have a pencil fight.
Have to.
We have to have a pencil fight.
That's all I heard for about a year.
We have to have a pencil fight.
Don't cut the pencil fight.
Why don't we have a pencil fight?
It's a pencil, and it has a pointy, sharp bit here, which is really great for entrance. It's fairly sturdy. If you're gonna jab it, you kind of want to like have your thumb over the top. You want to have a braced action going on it, so you always want to try and have bracing going in. Really good for close quarter.
Gotta go for the soft spots.
Go for the soft spots in the hands. Orifices. Gotta have a pencil fight.
John is dangerous. Whatever he has, he's lethal.
We have car, shotgun, machine gun, and handguns, pencil. Oh no, and his knife.
He's all around killing machine. Whatever he gets his hands on, he's gonna kill you with.
John Wick have no guns, no knife. We have a chance. But he have a guns and knife. No chance.
Tell you what, if they wanted to kill James Bond, they'd send John Wick.
Mr. Wick, do enjoy your party.
We take the previs process very serious at 8711.
Great choreography, great camera work, great editing.
Going ahead from what's written on the page to actually executing it on set. Somebody needs to walk that road before you come to set, like a scout unit going in first to clear the terrain for the boss.
Set. 3, 2, 1, go.
We talked a lot about how could we make this one bigger and meaner. We rounded up a badass team of the best stunt guys out there.
Our stunt team alone has 3 different languages being spoken.
Italians, Americans, and Bulgarians. It's almost like NATO. The Machado brothers came in and gave him a lot of that jiu-jitsu.
Yes. Karen Butler, 13-time U.S. national gun champion. Heidi Moneymaker, Devlin Aries. Aside from being Chad's wife, Heidi is also one of the best stunt women in this business.
Why don't you just run this last piece like 5 or 6 times?
And then the 8711 team, Derek Brown, Danny Hernandez, Justin Yu, Jackson Spidell, all of our crew.
Proper fucking bunch of murderers.
So we did 3 pre-visits for every sequence.
You're getting to investigate the choreography on your terms. So then you get to kind of say like, okay, well, I can't do that. Okay, I have to learn how to do that. If I'm shown a video, then I can start to see what I have to do.
We spent a lot of time practicing the reloads, practicing correcting malfunctions.
I would say that there's 2 things going on, the creativity and the problem solving. And even if it's like little pieces, you're still getting to know, like, okay, that time is coming in here, then I can do something. You're always kind of learning from them.
We just carpet bombed him with violence.
205 and he killed 35 people. It's awesome.
I don't think I've ever seen him watch a playback and go, okay, great.
Oh, so I was too late.
He's super committed. That's a few and far between trait in this business. You can shoot anywhere in the dark. We're picking a direction and going in that direction.
When you get the ones that are like completely done and they've put the sound effects and the blood squirts in, there's a lot of levels that it works on.
I watched all the cut footage of all the action sequences the very first time. I mean, I was screaming like a little kid in a candy store. It's off the charts. It's off the hook.
Even though it might not be the choreography of the film, you're doing choreography.
We're doing great work out here. I'm really proud of what we've done.
Sometimes you shoot a previs for shock and awe. Look how cool we can do this.